Hi everyone, a very good morning to all of you. Today is 8th of December and I welcome you all to the Hindu newspaper analysis discussion. So in this particular video, we'll be taking up entire analysis of Hindu newspaper along with all the background as well as the way forward in articles. Also, I would like to tell you that you can download explainer notes of this particular session from Telegram channel. Link for Telegram is given in description box in YouTube. Now, first of all, guys, let's take overview of entire newspaper so that we can understand that which articles are important in the today's newspaper. Okay, so here we have Delhi edition, and on first page we have the articles as new chief minister has been sworn in Telangana. Center announces 1,500 crore to aid Tamil Nadu and AP after cyclone wreaks havoc. So recently we have seen also that how cyclones are named. Okay. Then guys, further we have this advertisements, etc. Okay, largely on first page we don't have much relevant articles for our UPSC CSE examination. Panun Association plot likely to be a top of FBI chief's agenda, which the visit will happen next week. India moving forward while developed countries are struggling. Okay. Then in city section, we have largely the regional issues, okay, regional political issues, advertisements, tenders, okay, law and order related issues, etc. are provided. Political news is there. So in this particular regional section, which might be different, which will be different in the different editions. We don't have much relevant news here also in this particular section. And then further, we will move to editorial section. Okay, so till editorial, we don't have much relevant substance. Okay, fine. Now in editorial, we have this article, India's growing neighborhood dilemmas. Now, this is actually a very good article talking about India's neighborhood challenges, why India is facing, what are the challenges that India's neighborhood is facing, and what are the reasons behind those particular challenges. We'll take this particular article, it is a good article. Uh, no fight accompany. Now, this particular article, guys, talks about that now a lot of time has happened since 2019 to 2023. 4 years have happened. Article says that now Jammu and Kashmir should be given complete statehood and elections should be conducted. Now, if you remember, yesterday we have discussed that two bills have been passed with respect to Jammu and Kashmir, that is Jammu and Kashmir Reorganization Bill as well as the Jammu and Kashmir Reservation Bill. Okay, so it is article is saying that now the time has come that the election should be held and statehood should be given. Okay, article, guys, does not contains much of the substance for examination, so I'll not advise you that you should spend too much of time in reading it. Okay, or then problematizing periodization in history. We'll see this particular article that what it is contains. Then Gaza in flames. Okay, so guys, we have seen that the now around more than 1 month has happened. Okay, actually there are nearly 2 months that have happened. October 7, what happened? The Hamas, it carried attack on Israel. Now, in response, Israel has started their counterattacks, and 2 months have happened. They have pounded Gaza region. Okay, earlier bombings were on northern Gaza, now it is on southern Gaza. For few days there was a humanitarian pause that was brought. Again, the killings have got started, the bombings have got started. So now they say that Israel should not be allowed to continuously bomb the Gaza. Then further, next page. Okay, in Chhattisgarh, lack of jobs, price rise and corruption brings down Congress government. Okay, so guys, from past 3 days, we have seen that as election results have been announced, 2-3 pages in Hindu are with respect to the political, the elections that have happened, that what worked for BJP, what was the miscalculation of Congress, or what did not work in that favor, and all such kind of things have been provided. Okay, now guys, for your UPSC examination, such political stakes, okay, or political developments are not that much important. So no need to go too much in detail in this particular line. Okay, so same things have been provided. Now in text and context, we have this article regulating deepfake AI in India. We'll take this particular article for examination. In fact, there have been so many articles on deepfake that have come, but anyhow, we'll take that article. Then on the next is the Limelight article, the shock therapy of Sandeep Reddy Vanga's latest film Animal. Okay, so recently this film Animal has got released, and on that, fine, the plot, the star cast, and all such things are being discussed. Not at all important for your examination. So just skip from this particular page. Then further moving on from development to defamation, the election campaign in Chhattisgarh. So again, guys, the political articles with respect to the Congress, BJP, the elections results in Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, all such things have been provided. So no need to go in this particular direction. Again, entire page does not contain much of the substance. BJP is the preferred party of governance. PM tells parties, MPs, the same thing. Lok Sabha to take up ethics panel report recommending Mahua's expulsion. So yesterday, guys, we have taken one full-fledged article on this particular issue, and I have made one standalone video also with respect to this particular issue. So we have seen that one of an MP, Mahua Moitra, she has been accused that she has taken some money from some business interest group to ask favorable questions in the parliament. And in this matter, ethics committee of Lok Sabha has taken up this matter, and ethics committee has recommended that Mahua Moitra should be expelled from the house. Now that recommendation will now be kept in Lok Sabha, and Lok Sabha will take a final call. Okay. Guys, today the article does not contain much of the substance. Fine. It just talks about that Lok Sabha will take that matter, but I will recommend you that please go and watch the yesterday's video where I have discussed this entire matter, that what is the mandate of ethics committee, what is Supreme Court judgment, that whether the expulsion of such an MP or any MP could be done by parliament or not. So please see that particular thing. Okay, now moving on guys, in this particular direction. Okay. Supreme Court to give Article 370 verdict on Monday. So guys, Article 370 got diluted in 2019 and Jammu and Kashmir's status got changed. This thing is challenged in Supreme Court. Final judgment will come on Monday. So till then, no need to see that. On Monday, we'll take it up. We'll take this article. Supreme Court asks center to give details of inflow of illegal migrants. We'll take this particular article also for examination and we'll see what it contains. Okay. After that, Indian ambassador granted consular access to 8 death row prisoners in Qatar. So this article also we have seen earlier. So basically, guys, we have seen that 8 of the Indian. So basically, we have seen this, that 8 of the Indian people, okay, who they have been accused that they have been involved in the espionage activities in Qatar. Okay, and they have been given death penalty in Qatar. Now, India has protested on this matter and wanted that consular access should be given to these 8 death row prisoners in Qatar. Now, it has been granted. Okay, we'll see that what will happen in this particular regard. Now, here we have one article, guys, and this is one thing. So basically, guys, we all who are preparing for UPSC examination know one of the most important Supreme Court judgment that shaped that has influenced the constitution. Keshwaranda Bharti case, basic structure doctrine case, Keshwaranda Bharti case. Now guys, Supreme Court has uploaded around 5-minute video on the entire summary of the Keshwaranda Bharti case. So in case if you don't know what Keshwaranda Bharti case is, why Keshwaranda Bharti case was decided, so for that particular thing, simply go to YouTube, Supreme Court of India's channel, and there you can watch this video. This video is available in Hindi, English, Telugu. Okay, so multiple languages, Malayalam also, Odia also, multiple languages this video has been uploaded. So if you want to know about Keshwaranda Bharti case, and if you don't know it, rather than watching any other 1 hour, 3 hour YouTube videos, which does not make much of a sense, watch this 5-minute video. You will get an entire clarity. Okay. Now, moving on in this particular direction further, US shared evidence of Panun issue, Canada did not, Jai Shankar. So recently this controversy happened that, see, Prime Minister of Canada made allegations against India that India had played a role in killing of a Khalistani leader. Okay, India dismissed that particular thing. Then further what happened, USA indicted one of an Indian national that he was plotting to kill one of a Khalistani leader and was acting on the base of Indian government official. In that matter, India constituted a committee. So they were questioning that why India is showing these double standards. Canada's matter was dismissed. USA's same case has been given importance. So Minister of External Affairs have cleared that USA shared evidence with India. Canada did not share any evidence. Therefore, India's response is different. Okay, so that is about it. However, guys, now these articles are not needed to be gone too much in detail. Just headline, you have seen, you understood the context, just move on. Okay, no need to go too much in detail. Then textile industry crisis looms large as demand hits a low. So guys, when we talk about India, India has been a major exporting nation when it comes to textiles. Okay, because of India's cheap labor that we have. Okay. Now guys, point is that basically India's textile exports are low because the demand in developed countries are low because of high inflation, because of high input cost that are there, and obviously the reasons are the geopolitical crisis going on. Post pandemic recovery has not been completed. Okay. Then guys, further moving on, after that, on world page again, that Israel Hamas issue is there. Okay, and there are the evolutionary political details. Then we have the sports section, and let's go to the science page today. Okay, two things I want to tell you. Many of the students, science and text and context page might not be getting published in your edition of Hindu newspaper. Many editions of Hindu newspaper, these pages don't come. Okay, so don't worry, we'll cover here. Improved drug regimen for TB likely to reduce treatment time. Now, guys, I have read this entire article. Okay, see, when we talk about the tuberculosis, we know. Now, when we talk about the tuberculosis, guys, we know this particular thing that if tuberculosis is not treated on time, it can become deadly. Now, you might have also heard about the multi-drug resistant TB, multi-drug resistance TB. Now, when we talk about the TB treatment, the one issue that is there is that for a very long period of time, TB drugs are to be taken. Now, when people start feeling that they have improved, they stop taking the TB medicines. Also, they are not very much persistent in the medications. Therefore, the TB turns into the drug resistant TB. And often this long duration for which the TB drugs are to be taken, it becomes a concern. So they are discussing that, okay, what are the developments, what can be done in that capacity, research papers are being discussed, okay, all these things are there. I have read this entire article, guys, but article does not contains much of relevant substance for examination. So I'll again not advise you to go too much in detail. Okay, either very generic things or things which are beyond the scope of UPSC are being discussed. Core medical article. Now, that is all, guys, about this context, about the entire newspaper overview. And one thing, guys, just I want to tell you that today we have very few selected relevant articles that makes sense for our UPSC examination. And being a serious aspirant, being the serious aspirants, our objective should be such that we should not be just just for the sake of formality, we have to read the entire paper. Only relevant things which make sense for the newspaper, for our examination, are to be taken up. Now, let's discuss relevant articles one by one in detail. Okay. Now, guys, this is the synoptic notes that you can download from our Telegram channel. In this notes, we have given additional information that is needed but not there in the newspaper, and we have ruled out those all that information which is repetitive of nature or which might not be useful. So this synoptic notes is very carefully curated just to serve the UPSC demand. Okay. Now, so every class we start with a GS quotation. So guys, this GS quotation we use to complement our answers in GS mains examination as well as in essay paper. So today we'll take quotation from Albert Camus. So Albert Camus says, democracy is not the law of the majority, but the protection of minority. Now, when we talk about democracy, we often say that democracy means government by the people, of the people, for the people. And when the word people comes, at me, we often understand numbers. We say that democracy is all about numbers. Numbers will decide what is to be done, what is not to be done. But if that is true, then the democracy will become the government of the majority. And that majority sometimes might dominate minority, might subjugate minority. That can happen, but no, democracy never allows that. So democracy is not just about majority. Democracy is not just about numbers, but democracy moves beyond that. It is about justice. It is about giving due share to every person. So democracy is about taking adequate safeguards for the protection of the vulnerable, for the protection of minority. So democracy is not just the law of majority, it is the protection of minority, giving adequate safeguards to minority vulnerable people. Also, democracy takes it in account. How it takes in account? By inherent checks and balances that are there in the democracy, by the notions of due process of law that is there in the democracy, which is there in Indian democracy also. You can use this particular idea in GS paper number 2 polity, GS paper number 2 polity, as well as in essay you can use this particular idea. Okay, now moving on in this particular direction, guys, and just 3 days are remaining since the till the launch of our power play prelims test series. So the first test will be held on 11th of December, and if you have not enrolled till now, and if you are looking for a roadmap for the next upcoming months, I will insist that you should join any. See, understand this thing, that whenever we talk about any test series, every test series objective is simple and straightforward. It is to give you a roadmap, okay, that this is a syllabus, prepare for 5 days, and after 5 days, on that basis of syllabus, we will ask you certain questions. And by that, you assess that, okay, whether you are just reading or you are able to reproduce that knowledge or not. So testing is always an important component for every examination process. And I will insist that please take adequate number of tests. I am not asking you that you should join this test series. If you have some other test series, please continue that. Don't join here. However, if you have not joined a test series, I will insist you that please have a test series with you, because it will show you a little bit of a direction that whether you are able to reproduce the knowledge in yes or no. That is also the true that a test series cannot be a pure gold standard to assess your preparation, but it shows you the direction. So in that capacity, we have come out with the power play prelims test series, which will contain 70 plus tests catering to both GS as well as CSAT. It will have sectional as well as the full length test, and we are starting with polity. First, there will be the sectional test of polity and then full length test of polity. Similarly, then economy, history, geography, and then comprehensive test will be there. So 70 plus tests catering to both GS and CSAT, and we have ensured that the quality of questions should match the UPSC standards. Though we don't claim that the questions that we'll ask here will directly come in UPSC, nobody can make that claim. But the quality of questions, for example, assertion reasoning based question, pairing based questions that do come in the UPSC, we have ensured that adequate number questions of that particular nature should be there. Also on economic survey, budget, current affairs, there is a dedicated test. You can download the schedule of this particular test series, syllabus that we will ask in the different papers. All these things I will put into the link comment, pinned comment. I will put all those links. Enrollment link also I will put. And in case if you want to check the quality of questions, one link for a demo also I will put. You can go and see that. You can enroll by scanning this QR code, or you can visit on our website www.sahilsaini.net for that. Okay, now moving on, and let's take first article for today: regulating deepfake and artificial intelligence in India. We'll take this particular article with respect to GS paper number 3, cyber technologies and the threat of cyber technologies, GS paper number 3. We'll take this article. Now, one thing is that, guys, see, even Hindu newspaper, many number of times I think it recycles their content too much, because on AI, every other day when they don't have any article, they'll put one article on AI or deepfake. Okay, anyhow, now when we talk about deepfake, deepfake refers to a synthetic media. Deepfake refers to a synthetic media. Deepfake refers to some digital media. It could be into the form of video, it could be into the form of audio, in which actors are shown that they are doing something, but actually in their life they have not done that particular thing. So this is the doctored media. So as in Photoshop, as in photoshopped pictures, what happened there, we superimpose somebody's face on somebody other's body, In the same way, these are the full-fledged audios, videos or medias which are doctored, which are synthetic, which are not real. And with the help of artificial intelligence, with the help of GAN, generative adversarial networks, we can make we can make the medias, we can make the videos which look pretty real. And recently what has happened, one of our celebrities doctored video, one of our celebrities deep fake video featured online, and this particular thing has opened up that how big concern will be there with these deep fake technologies. Now guys, when we talk about the deep fake videos, they will also have a political implication. Now if we talk about the usage of the deep fake video for political reasons, I have two examples here. Example number one, what happened? So in 2020, though guys we never use personal names or personal references in our UPSC examination, but just for the sake of telling you, I am giving you this information. Now, what happened in 2020? One of a leader of the BJP, Mr. Manoj Tiwari's deep fake video, a doctored video, was circulated on WhatsApp groups. In this particular video, he was hurling allegations against the Chief Minister of Delhi, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, and he was speaking in English as well as Haryanvi. He was speaking in English as well as Haryanvi. Now, this particular video was a deep fake video. It was a doctored video. Okay. Also, there was one more example. So we have seen this particular thing that the last year there was a deep fake video of Ukrainian President Zelensky that was created. And in this particular video, he was saying that people or the soldiers, they should drop their weapons and should not fight. Okay. Now this particular deepfake video was made, and the cyber criminals, they hacked in the TV networks of Ukraine and they showed this particular video on the TVs of Ukraine. Okay. Now many people believed it that actually president is saying this thing, but he never said that. This is another example of deepfake video that is being used for political purpose. Now guys, understand this particular thing. 2024, India is set to go on the general elections. Okay. Also guys, USA will see the elections, and there is a possibility that deepfake videos can be made which can intend to show political leaders in bad light, or deepfake videos can be used for inciting riots and all such kind of a political discontentment. Now guys, when we talk about the deepfakes prevalence, according to artificial intelligence firm Deep Trans, they say that 96% of the deepfake videos today are pornographic in nature, and 99% of them involved women. 99% of them involved women. So basically it also goes against women's privacy, women's bodily autonomy. Okay. And it brings women under disgrace. So women whose deepfake video is being made for pornographic purpose, her privacy, her bodily autonomy is being violated. More also guys, in this particular capacity, MIT, it has created detect fakes website. Detect fake website. In this detect fake website, videos can be tested that whether they are genuine or they are deep fake. Now guys, when we talk about deep fakes, India also facing deep fake videos prevalence, and question comes that are there adequate laws to tackle the deep fake problem or not? So when we talk about India, guys, right now we don't have any dedicated law to tackle the deep fake. Recently, and this article I have taken also in the Hindu newspaper, that government has said that as soon as possible they will be coming out with a dedicated law for deep fake. But as of now, dedicated law on deep fake is not there. Under the existing provisions of the IT Act, we deal the deep fakes. And which provisions can be used? Number one, we have section 66E of the IT Act 2000. Now section 66E, it provides this particular thing. That capturing, publication or transmission of person's images, person's video can be violative of their privacy. And if any person is using my video, is using my photograph or is transmitting my audio, video, photograph, it is violation of my privacy and I can file a complaint against that particular person. So section 66E can be used, that you are showing my artificial deepfake video, okay, where my image is being used. I can file a complaint under section 66E. Then section 67, 67A, 67B, they can be used to prosecute individuals for publishing or transmitting deepfakes that are obscene or sexually explicit in nature. Now, if you remember, guys, we have seen that 96% of deepfake material is of pornographic nature. So, sexually explicit content is being circulated, then the punishment or the prosecution can be done under section 67, 67A, 67B. And then, guys, there are the IT rules 2021. Now, what actually happened? So, recently, IT rules were enforced, and as per these IT rules, it has been provided that if any content is being circulated on the social media websites, and if that particular content is offensive to someone, or if anybody has a complaint with this particular social media content, people can file a complaint with the social media intermediary, and that social media intermediary has to take down that particular content, and if they don't adhere with these IT rules, then these social media companies will lose their safe harbor. Now, what is a safe harbor? So basically, guys, safe harbor is a immunity, it is a protection. Now understand this particular thing. See, there is Facebook, there is YouTube. Now see, let's say on Facebook, a person writes some hateful content, some hateful post a person writes on Facebook. Now, because of that particular post, let's say a riot is ignited, and let's say some people have killed in that particular riot. Now, can you arrest Mark Zuckerberg, or can you arrest the Facebook officials that your platform has led to riot? No. They are given immunity. They are given immunity because they cannot control what everybody is writing. They have to be given immunity. Okay. And this immunity, this protection is called as a safe harbor. So safe harbor protection or safe harbor immunity means that if anything is being said on a platform, if anything is being written in a platform, then the platform will not be held accountable. They will not be held accountable. This protection is called as a safe harbor protection. Now, if social media companies will not follow this advisory, that is, they will not take down the content, they will not follow the IT rules which have been notified, their safe harbor will be taken back. So these are the remedies that are there, but dedicated law on deepfake is not there. Union Minister of Electronics and Information Technology said that government will introduce the draft regulation within 10 days, but up till now nothing has happened in this capacity. Now, another countries have also taken some steps. For example, just 2 months back, USA, Joe Biden, he has signed an executive order on AI regulation. Executive order on AI regulation, which aims to manage the risks of AI, which aims to manage the national security concerns of AI, managing the privacy of concerns of AI. Also, guys, what is happening? US Congress have also adopted Deep Fake Accountability Bill 2023. And in this particular Deep Fake Accountability Bill 2023, the creators, they have to label that video as a deep fake video. Okay, creators have to label a video that is a deep fake video. Also, in this capacity, European Union has also taken certain steps. For example, European Union has amended their code of practice on disinformation. Code of practice on disinformation. Okay, so basically, it has been provided that Google, Meta, whenever a content is being circulated on their websites, and if that content is a deepfake video, they have to flag this deepfake video. If they are not able to flag the deepfake video, they can face fines. Also, European Union is proposing the AI Act, which where basically deepfake providers or the people circulating it, they have to be audited. Disclosure requirements means they have to label their videos. So this is something that is happening around the world, that is USA and the European Union. India has also proposed that they will come out with a bill, but up till now nothing has happened in this particular capacity. Okay, so we can say that as soon as possible it should be brought. Now moving on to next article. Supreme Court asks center to give details of inflow of illegal migrants. Illegal migrants. Now, this particular article, guys, we'll see with respect to GS paper number 2 polity. GS paper number 2 polity. Okay. Now, before going on in this particular article, I would like to tell you some basic background information. Some basic background information. Okay. Now, guys, see this particular thing, that a large number of people from Bangladesh, they have migrated to India. They have migrated to India. And a large number of people, they have illegally migrated to India. They have illegally migrated to India. Okay. Now guys, what is happening? There have been certain events post which considerably huge number of people have migrated. Number one, 1966 submergence of 1966 Kaptai Dam. 1966 Kaptai Dam. So basically, Kaptai Dam was constructed in Bangladesh on the Karnfuli River. And because of this particular dam, hundreds of thousands of villages, they got submerged under the water, and because of that, people from Bangladesh came to India post 1966. Then you might be already knowing about the 1971 war. Before 1971 war, Razakars of Pakistan, they were committing atrocities on people in Bangladesh. Okay, so again, large number of people came to India. Now, as people came to India, what happened? They started to bring a demographic change. Now, what will happen as outsiders will come? Native culture will get diluted because outsiders will bring their own culture. When outsiders will come, they will compete for economic opportunities with the native people. Okay, dominance of native people will decline because outsiders will come. So guys, what happened? As large number of Bangladeshi illegal immigrants were coming in India, in Assam, discontentment increased post 1966, and ASU, okay, All Assam Students Union, ASU, it started protesting against these illegal immigrants that have come. Now guys, what happened? In this particular direction, Assam Accord was signed. Okay, and under Assam Accord, certain things were laid down. As per Assam Accord, which was signed with the ASU, certain conditionalities were laid down. What conditionalities were laid down? It was provided that, see, people who came in India till 1966, they will be given the citizenship of India. Secondly, people who came till 1971, after 66 but till 1971, these people are eligible to citizenship if they fulfill certain conditionalities. If they fulfill certain conditions, if they are able to furnish certain documents, they will be able to get the citizenship. Okay. And the people who came post 1971, these people are to be deported back. These people are to be sent. These things were agreed as the part of Assam Accord. This was agreed as a part of Assam Accord. And this thing was, and then this particular thing got added. These three conditions, they got added as Section 6A of Citizenship Act 1955. So three things that were agreed as a part of Assam Accord, then they got legalized by adding it in the Citizenship Act of 1955. Where they got added in the Citizenship Act? They got added in Section 6A. So Section 6A divided immigrations from Bangladesh in three time periods: who entered till 66, who entered till between 66 to 71, and who entered post 71. Now guys, basically it has been provided. It has now certain groups of Assam, they are challenging this Section 6A. They say this particular thing, that in a way what you did, you have legalized the illegal immigration that happened in Bangladesh till 1971. You have legalized the illegal immigration in Assam. One thing. Now guys, it has also been provided. Now they are challenging this Section 6A in the Supreme Court. Okay. So they say that special provision brought in shortly after the signing of Assam Accord became a beacon, became a signal for illegal immigration into India and to settle people in Assam. And as these people in large numbers have settled in Assam, they are disturbing the Assamese culture. So they say that this is illegal migration, and Section 6A should be removed. Section 6A should not have been there in the first instance. So now guys, this matter is going on in the Supreme Court, and the court has asked the center that why Section 6A, which gave illegal migrants the benefit of Indian citizenship, was made applicable only in the case of Assam. Now This was also an interesting point. It was made applicable for Assam. Now, Supreme Court says that Bangladesh shares a longer border with West Bengal. But in West Bengal, this provision has not been brought. This provision has been brought in Assam. Why? So they are dealing with the validity of this particular law. They are dealing with the validity of this particular law. Okay. So this is about this. Now guys, the Chief Justice of India has provided this particular thing. Now, this is a very important point with respect to the topic of regionalism, GS paper number 1. See, all the time, people are migrating in the different parts of the country. Let's say because of the IT sector boom that have come into few pockets of the country, for example, in Bangalore, big IT hub has been developed. In Gurugram, big IT hub is there. In Chennai, Hyderabad, big IT hubs are there. So what happens from the different parts of the country, people come and settle in these cities. So suppose a person from any of the states from the northeast India has come and has settled into the Bangalore. Obviously, this person will bring their culture in Bangalore. Will that also be the case that the native culture is getting disturbed? Chief Justice of India had said that no. This is not the case that the native culture is being disturbed. Why? Because India in itself is a one entity. And Indians are free to migrate any part of the country. We all follow one, basically we are one nation. But when outsiders are coming, then we say that the outsiders will disturb the native culture, will disturb the indigenous culture. Okay. So this is guys about this entire issue. I hope that you have understood it. Okay. Now guys, moving on in this particular direction into the next article. There is one question that has come. Sir, how do we know that they came in this particular time? I told you the events, na? That 1966 Kaptai Dam, a large number of people came. So, see, we always know that what thing has ignited more wave of people. Okay, for example, in the world, post 2015, refugee exodus has increased a lot. Okay, so these particular things we know because suddenly there are some events that ignite more number of people migrating. Okay, now this is actually a very good article, a very beautifully written article with respect to India's neighborhood policy. Now this article will take with respect to the GS paper number 2, international relations, GS paper number 2, India's neighborhood policy, neighborhood relations. This article will take. A very good article. Okay. Now, guys, when we talk about India, India follows neighborhood first policy. India follows neighborhood first policy. And India always aims to become a, see, understand this particular thing. This is actually a big time issue also. See, India is able to secure, strategic heavyweight in the world politics. But at the same time, India's own regional politics has a lot of challenges. India's relation with the neighborhood has a lot of challenges. Now guys, when we talk about India, India's neighborhood has a lot of problems for India. Neighborhoods can be difficult, can be messy a many number of times. But in neighborhood, what are the New Delhi's or India's dilemmas? Number one dilemma that India faces in its neighborhood is rise of politically anti-India regimes in South Asia. Now, if you are following regularly, guys, you might be knowing already about the Maldives issue. We have discussed it many number of times. So, what has happened in the Maldives? So, Mr. Mizu, who has become new president of Maldives, he openly endorses India out policy. Earlier president of Maldives were more favorable to India and he followed the India first policy. But now present president of Maldives follows India out policy. So this is politically anti-India regime that has risen in Maldives. Then guys, Khaleda Zia led government in Bangladesh, which is due for elections next year. Also, there are the indications are coming that just before the elections, they might turn against India to tap the nationalist sentiments in their own country. Okay, so this is the first challenge that India is facing in neighborhood. Second challenge that it is facing in neighborhood, how to deal with the China, growing influence of China in South Asia. Now we know this particular thing, guys. Strategically, China, through their initiative of Belt and Road Initiative, through their infrastructure projects, and through their deep pockets, they are giving so much of dose, they are giving so much of handouts to the other countries that they have become more favorable to China. So how to deal with this rising China? Okay. Then guys, at the same time, we see that the seems to have a kind of a China seems to have a kind of a strategy where what it is doing. China is ready to solve the disputes with all the countries, but does not want to solve it with the India. Now, if you see guys, recently there was a special meet that has held between China and Bhutan. We have covered it also many number of times in our analysis. Now guys, understand this thing that always I say that if you are following newspaper, ensure that you follow regularly. And if you cannot follow regularly, then don't follow it. Even don't waste one day, just simply uh, use some other strategy that is there. Why? Because see, if you are just reading newspaper regularly, then you will know all the context and reading will make sense. But if you are not reading it regularly, if you are not following it regularly, and if you just follow it 3, 4, 5 days a month, and then even those 5 days, you will be out of the context. And even if you are putting 5 hours, you are wasting that time. Now, if you remember guys, we have seen that the China and Bhutan, they have decided that they will start their diplomatic dialogue. Also, they will establish a special working group which will delineate the border between the China and Bhutan. So China is ready to solve their boundary dispute with all the countries, but not for with the India. Why? There is a reason for this thing. That see, India is a challenger to China, and China does not want to solve relations with the India because in the meantime, India will use that particular piece to further consolidate its power. Okay, so China wants to arm twist India at the convenience, and therefore it is deliberately keeping certain disputes open with India. So these are the challenges that India is facing in the neighborhood. Now it has been said that India has to adopt some innovative measures in their foreign policy and has to deal with these challenges. Now article further goes in deep and also explains the reasons that why these dilemmas are increasing, why India is facing tough choices in neighborhood. Now there are the reasons for this particular thing. Number one guys, let's see, first of all, when we talk about the present South Asia, it is characterized by the diminishing presence of USA. Now USA's presence is almost negligible in the South Asia region. And guys, as USA has exited, now see, China can face now credible competition to China can only be given by USA in terms of economic power, in terms of military power, in terms of diplomatic power. Okay, now guys, see this particular thing that when we talk about the USA, China and India, hierarchy is something like this. USA is here, China is here, India is here. The gap that is there between the China and USA, similar gap is there between the India and China. India cannot provide resources, economic resources to the neighborhood as China can provide. Now guys, if USA would have been actively involved into the region, USA could have influenced the countries with its economic and military might, and USA has traditionally been aligned to India. So it could have benefited India. But as USA is not present and India's capabilities are restricted, China has become the first choice of countries. Okay, so the vacuum has been filled by China, and China has become more attractive to the countries. Then the second issue that comes here is that, okay, I already told you that the China can cater to the material needs, India cannot. Then the next issue that comes here is that guys, that when we talk about India, India's foreign policy is normative. Listen, India will have certain values always attached with its foreign policy. For example, India will always give importance to pluralism. India will give always importance to democracy. India will always give importance to peace, progress. Okay, will never appreciate military regimes. India will never do that. So certain values, certain principles are there in India's foreign policy. Because of that, certain countries find it difficult to align with India. For example, let's take contemporary example, though not given in article, but it will help you to understand. Right now in Myanmar, military regime is there. And as military regime is there, India, because of its values of democracy, will not appreciate the military regime of Myanmar. So Myanmar will become disentangled with India, will become disengaged with India. But China does not maintains any values in their foreign policy. They have no frills approach. They have no conditionalities approach. If they want to engage you, they will engage you even in your regime, even in your country. Totalitarianism is going on. China will shake hands. This explains that why there is a cordial relation between North Korea and China. Okay, so in China, they don't have basically in China, their foreign policy is norms free policy, and South Asia is now appreciating norm-free zone. So therefore, countries are more inclined to China. Then guys, next issue that comes here is that, okay, India's foreign policy exhibits our status quo bias. Now, this is a very, very good point and a very important point. See, when we talk about India, we have seen that India's foreign policy largely engages the people who are right now sitting in the power position, government. India rarely engages with the actors who are outside the government. For example, guys, India was tapping in the government in Maldives, which was favorable to India. But at that same time, India did not made attempt to reach to opposition in Maldives earlier, who was against India. Today, that opposition has become the ruling in Maldives. Okay, and today India is facing the problem. So point is that when we talk about India, India largely engages only the government, only the one who is right now in the power. Now this becomes sometimes risky because the opposition, it becomes alienated. Opposition becomes alienated, and if that opposition came to power tomorrow, as has happened in the Maldives, it will be a problem for India. Okay. Now, also guys, there have been certain assumptions, wrong assumptions that India has also taken. For example, you might be knowing that the SARC, South, so basically when we talk about the SARC, now you might already be knowing this thing that the SARC has been dormant since 2014. Since 2014, no summit has been held in SARC. Okay, why? Because of the Pakistan. Because of the Pakistan. Now, guys, when we don't know, you might already be knowing about the Uri. You might already be knowing about the Pulwama, and we know the role the Pakistan has played in that. And because of these reasons, we don't engage with the SARC because Pakistan is there, and India is following an approach that South Asia minus Pakistan, India will focusing on, and we are not focusing on SARC, but we are focusing on BIMSTEC. So we want to negotiate or we want to engage with the South Asia without the Pakistan, but that thing has not worked. Also guys, when we talk about India, India connects with the countries on the basis of the culture. Okay, but guys, when India focuses too much on the culture, what happens? The countries which don't follow the culture like India, they get alienated. So these all things have worked unfavorably for India, and this is the reason that India faces the dilemma in the neighborhood. So what can be done in this particular regard? Number one, India has to make a mental switch. India has to make a mental switch. And India needs to understand. See, first of all, you need to recognize your mistakes. So India has to make a mental switch and has to recognize that right now, India is not the dominant power in South Asia. India's power is being taken up by China. First of all, you have to recognize that particular thing. Okay. Okay. And China is becoming more powerful. If we don't like it, but we have to accept it. Then next thing that India needs to understand is that we need to proactively pursue the involvement of friendly external actors in the region. Okay. For example, as USA has exited and other major powers are absent, we need to engage and we need to bring them back. Otherwise, the region will become China-centric. The next, Indian diplomacy should be flexible to engage multiple actors in each of the neighboring countries. Just don't make cordial relations with the ruling, but also engage the opposition, because tomorrow opposition can become the ruling. So in the neighborhood, we need to recognize this particular thing. Okay. And the lastly, India needs to further now see, when we talk about, guys, now this issue has come so many number of times that, guys, when we talk about the foreign official strength of diplomats, strength of ambassadors that India is having, it is very much less. And India needs more diplomatic pursuits, more number of ambassadors. So there is a glaring shortage of sufficient diplomats to implement the foreign policy of India. Okay. So these are certain things that are needed to be adopted. So that is all, guys, about this article, and it was a very beautifully written article, and I will insist that please download the synoptic notes, and these kind of articles are the one which have a high probability of high probability that these things can be asked in examination, because in examination theme based questions are asked largely. Okay, now moving on, we have this article, Problematizing periodization in history. You can see this particular article with respect to the GS paper number 1 history class, history division. Number 2 for essay, you can take this article. Okay, now what this article is largely talking about, article is talking about the periodization in history. Now, when we talk about periodization of history, you know that we divide history as ancient, medieval, and modern. Ancient, medieval, and modern. Now, this categorization or periodization has been given by Britishers. So, article is talking on this topic. So, article says that when we talk about societies, every society divides their history in a different segments on different part for the sake of better understanding or convenience. And when we talk about, there are multiple models on whose basis the history is divided. For example, societies largely in India, Iran, okay, they have also in Europe also, fine, Turk Mongol region also, what has happened, they have divided their history either on the basis of dynasty or on the basis of the regnal basis. Regnal basis means on the basis of a monarch, on the basis of a king. For example, the period of Ashoka the Great, okay, Akbar the Great, or on the basis of dynasty. But when we talk about Europe, Europe largely after the 16th and 17th century started adopting a new method of classification of history, that is the triad. Triad means threefold classification: ancient, medieval, and modern. Now guys, we know this particular thing, that Europe in 14th, 15th century was struggling under the dark ages, medieval ages, where church was supreme. Okay, all the new thinking, rational thinking, enlightenment was abandoned. It was not supported. And guys, what happened as Renaissance came in Europe? New thinking evolved, rationality evolved, humanism evolved, scientific temperament evolved. Okay, and guys, what happened? What happened after the Renaissance? The rationality, science, progress that was given important. This was called as the mark of modernity. This was called as the mark of modernity. This was called as the mark of enlightenment. So, this particular period also became the period after which Europe started to make colonies around the world. And wherever Europe went, Europe said that we have now bring the modern age in your society. Earlier, before we came to your country, you were under the dark age. You were under ignorance. You were under superstition. You were living under lot of redundant thinking. Now we have come. We already have seen modernity in our society, and we have brought modernity, and we will make you modern. So all the periods before British, they were medieval, and as British came, they said that now the modern age has become, and this classification was imposed on India also. So what Europeans created a narrative, Europeans, they created a narrative that we now will make you more modern. And as British came, British age became the modern age. Now you might be knowing about the J.S. Mill. J.S. Mill. J.S. Mill also introduced the triad on the basis of the Hindu history, ancient, Muslim history, medieval, and the British history, that is the modern history. But this periodization of history has certain problems. Number one problem. Now, modern age, modern history. It is a human construct. I, for example, said that post this year, we will call it as a modern history. But guys, that could be modern given the circumstances of 18th or 19th century. But can we call it as modern given 21st century? A lot of things that were happening in 18th and 19th century, which we were calling as modern, today they don't fit the criteria of modernity. Will we be able to call it modern in 23rd century? So this particular transience, this particular impermanent nature will be there. The next issue that comes here is that, okay, now see, suppose ancient, medieval, modern. Now what will happen as we will move from medieval to modern? Some change will come. Some change will come. As we'll move from ancient to medieval, some change will come. But that has not happened. Even in the change, there is a continuity, and even in the continuity, there is a change. Now see, suppose this is the ancient age. Within this age, we assume that a continuity will be there, but within this continuity, there is change. And as we are moving from ancient to medieval, we think that there will be change, but even in this change, there is continuity. So in continuity, there is change, and in change, there is continuity. So how you can make a classification? No classification is right in this capacity. The next third that comes here is that, okay, third thing that comes here is that, basically guys, for long, okay, for long guys, we have seen this particular thing, that we have adopted the European or Western conception. European or Western conception. Now what happened? Europe or West, they have told us what is modern. Europe or the West, they have told that what is modern, what is right, what is wrong. All these particular things have been imposed on us on West. But guys, just a minute. Okay, one thing I said J.S. Mill, it is James Mill. Okay, not J.S. Mill. It is James Mill. Okay, I said J.S. Mill. So my apologies for that. Okay, it was just a slip of tongue. Okay, now moving on. The next issue that comes here is that always Europe has created an archetype and has imposed that particular archetype. Okay, that this is modern, this is progressive, this is deprogressive. But now the world has started questioning it. Okay, what gives authority of to Europe that they can classify that whatever thinking they brought that was modern? No, we don't call it as modern. We will have some different criteria of modern. So this periodization has all these particular problems. Okay, so this is guys all about this particular article. And now the main practice question for today. So the question that we have today is, why are deepfakes dangerous? How are deepfakes being used to spread misinformation in political campaigns? What should be the regulatory response? So GS paper number 3, 10 marker question. Okay, so that is all guys about it. Fine. So this is all about the today's discussion guys, and with this we come to an end to this session. I hope guys that you have understood it. If you have liked the video and if you appreciate the efforts that we are putting in this initiative, because it takes a lot of hard work to make the notes and to stream the video every day irrespective of our personal commitments. If you think that it is helping you, please do hit the like button. Also please leave your lovely comments, because it always motivates us. Sir, I do not read newspaper, but I am attending your classes. Is it correct? See, two things guys, and I many number of times earlier also have told it. Reading is the best thing that you can do, number one. Number two, if you are reading synoptic notes and watching the video, then it is sufficient. Why? Because in the synoptic notes already I am putting whatever is put into the article plus additional information we are putting. So if you are reading the synoptic notes and watching the video, it will do the trick. But I never say that reading newspaper is bad. Okay, but right now saving your time is more important than that. Okay, so I hope you got the answer. Thank you.